Sir is the founder and chairman of Fortis India Laboratories Private Limited, a fast-growing pharmaceutical company in India. He has 40 years of successful experience in pharmaceutical industry. Chairman of Tamil Nadu Pharmaceutical Science Welfare Trust. He is the former national president of Indian Drug Manufacturers Association, Mumbai, during the period 2015. Has led delegations to Government of India, Japan, and China. He was the president of 68th Indian Pharmaceutical Congress 2016 at Visakhapatnam, the mega event. He has got many awards: Industry Crusader Award, IPA Fellowship Award, B.V. Patel Memorial Award, Lifetime Achievement, and many more awards. So the list is endless. So I have to just cut it short. His organization, Fortis, has won several awards again. Obviously, with a leader like Veeramani sir, it has to win many awards. Quality Excellence Award, 10 times. The Healers Award, many times. Outstanding Export Performance Award, 3 times. He's not only an industry man, he's a very good social worker. District Advisor, Vocational Service of Rotary International District 3232 for the year 2018-19. Major donor to Rotary Foundation with a contribution, please listen friends, with a contribution of more than 100,000 US dollars to Rotary. Wow. Rotary Fortis Medical Center, a joint ongoing project of Fortis with Rotary Club. And sir, in short, I would like to say about you is that you are a blend of humility and talent. Most approachable at all times. His pleasant smile makes things look simple and achievable. Dr. Veeramani for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now thank you, sir. We'll start the interview session, and I'll be having same set of questions, so you can alternate to answer it. So the first question goes to both of you. What ignited the spark in you to start?
Yeah. So the spark, which to start the enterprise because of the passion to excel. Because, I already had a lot of confidence, the previous assignment I had in selling, I had a tremendous confidence. I was number one in the organization, the company I worked for. So that gave me a spark that I can also do it. And I wanted to build a national organization of repute, known for quality and ethics, where thousands of people will work for the organization, and then they are free to follow their own, thought processes, and then build an organization like that. That was giving a spark to me.
Okay, we'll move on the next question to you only, sir.
Sir,
we'll have
okay.
the same set for him.
Right.
What would you say are the 3 skills needed to be a successful entrepreneur?
See, first of all, an entrepreneur should have an eagerness to learn. The learning ability is very important to know what is happening around, what are the opportunities available. All those things are very important for an entrepreneur. The second one is that you must have a tremendous desire to succeed in a big way. That desire only will propel him to do much better. Then you should have a lot of capacity for hard work, perseverance, persistence, because it is not going to be an easy task to start an enterprise. You will be finding a lot of hurdles on the way. And then, you must have the tenacity to overcome them and then keep on your goals. So this is what is required for an entrepreneur.
Thank you, sir. What have been some of your hurdles, and what have you learned from them?
See, whenever you have an enterprise, one of the hurdle is always finance, because normally many of the entrepreneurs are not experts in finance. So, and we don't know what's going to happen. So as we go along, we face hurdles. In the financial hurdles were more because we didn't have a good finance management. I am a marketing person, so I had to learn finance the hard way, undergoing struggles and all. That is one of the hurdle. Another hurdle is when you start a small enterprise, you don't have very good quality people joining you. And some other people, because the company is small, they will leave you. So attrition, manpower was also another hurdle we faced and all. But of course, as time progressed, as the company grew, we were able to overcome all these hurdles.
Thank you, sir. And I would like, in fact, all of us would like to know how many hours do you work in a day to look so fresh?
See, actually, for entrepreneur, there is no hours of work. We are working all the time. We are also enjoying our work. So we never feel like working. So we always say, we are living our life. So there is no fixed working hours for an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Rain here, maybe. Sir, another question for you too. What do you most attribute your success?
Of course, I would say that I have a discerning mind. They say in Gayatri Mantra, we must always have an intellect which is a discerning intellect to know what is right or wrong and all. I think God has given me a discerning mind and also the emotional maturity to accept things and then go by that. Also, I have tremendous flexibility, undergo change. Now, today in the COVID time, so many things are happening. The new normal is happening and all. All the time, we have to be flexible to undergo change. Of course, there will be no change with respect to our value system. Then, of course, the capacity to face challenges, the persistence and perseverance to achieve our goal. All these things have been, I think, helped me to give a success.
All levels, that is something commendable. Sir, to whom do you attribute? Single out a person to whom you attribute your success. Sir, how about you?
Yeah, I have two or three people like that. When I was working as a marketing person, I had an area manager. My name Mr. M.S. Raghavan, who was like a mentor for me, a Guruji for me. And then when I started my enterprise, of course, as I became a part of Indian Drug Manufacturers Association, I had several other manufacturers, but I can just point out on Dr. Mr. N.H. Israni. He's the chairman of Blue Cross Laboratories. He's one of my mentors.
Fantastic. Sir, again, the question to you, what do you think is the major difference between being an entrepreneur and working for someone else?
So if you are working for a enterprise, definitely, you don't have a freedom, freedom to do whatever you wanted to do. There is not enough freedom. So when you are having your own enterprise, you have all the freedom to experiment, to do things which you always wanted to do. That's the best thing that's happening in an entrepreneur. So what we do is, whenever we have employees, we are started, making the employees feel like an entrepreneur. In my company, every employee is like an entrepreneur. He has got a full freedom to do an excel.
Great, sir. And now again, a question to both of you, Dr. T.V. Narayana and Dr. Veena Maranji, as a person and as an entrepreneur. What is that?
Yeah. See, as a person, all of you know me as a very humble, simple, and humane person. I believe in human relations, being a good human being. And as an entrepreneur, a professional, I always am on the quest of exploring opportunities. I'm devising a plan of action to tap these opportunities and all. And also, I'm a good planner. I make a meticulous planning, people who know me well. And then once I make a plan, I go after the goals with a single-minded determination to succeed. So I always want to be the best.
Good. What was your mission at the outset? Has it changed during the course of time in any way?
See, initially, when we started the company, our mission was to develop a national organization known for quality and ethics. And, Fourth India, you'll find the name India. First, when I started, I call it as Fourth India because the India was that I will become a national company. But now as time progressed, now I have a quest for going for international. The national organization, the mission is becoming an international organization. But the basic founding values have not changed for the company. The quest for quality, ethics, and all those right dealings, all those things are remaining with us. Otherwise, from national to international is a mission change which has happened now.
Great, sir. With our wishes, you'll go to
Yeah, thank you.
It's good learning from you. And for Veeramani sir, I would like to know, sir, how do you build a successful customer base?
Everything in business, everything depends upon your credibility, your dependability. When you provide a good quality product, and also you are following proper ethics and following commitment, automatically the customer gets a confidence in you and your product. So if you continue this, the customer number of people who have got confidence in your company, the products of the company increases. So by straightforward means and basing on a good quality and good service to the patient, we are building our customer base. And our customer base is ever increasing.
In a single phrase, Narayan sir, in a single phrase, how would you characterize your professional life?
I can also say that I feel very proud as a pharmaceutical manufacturer in India, catering to many countries in the world. It is challenging, fulfilling, and very satisfying to me.
Teachers have excelled during these testing times, and they have given true examples of teaching learning.
Ramanji, can I also answer on
yes,
this?
Yes, sir.
Although I'm not a teacher.
Yeah, not only teacher, other professionals also. You need
as
to
a
tell
teacher,
us how they have adapted to the situation.
Yeah, first I would like to pay my respects to the teacher, because teachers are symbolizing the Ma Saraswati. Yeah. Saraswati is a seat of knowledge. Today is an era of knowledge. Knowledge is power, and as a teacher, you are actually imparting knowledge to the students and empowering them. More so in pharmacy teachers, because you are building a pharmacies of the nation and the world through your teaching and all this thing. Now, definitely our pranam to all the teachers here who are in this group now. And what I say that during the COVID times, the people are having at home, they were doing nothing and all this thing. But teachers could not rest. Although they had to prepare, they have to be busy preparing the courses for online and all, and conducting the online programs, and also they were busy all the time. So definitely credit to the teachers to keep the learning going during even difficult COVID times. My daughter used to say that my grandson is more busy now because he is getting so many online requirements are given by the teacher and all that. So he is more busy. So, but this online thing will definitely continue, not only for every field for that matter, more so because now we have tasted the success of online, where we don't have to gather everybody to impart knowledge and all. So this is going to be ongoing thing. Even in our company, we are training a medical representative, teaching all over India, and our training department is having online courses. So this online thing has come to stay. So it's going to continue.
Very true, sir. There will be more innovation. There will be more creativity.
Definitely from the industry and from the IDMA, I can definitely give all the support to the academia to provide whatever expertise you want. Over online, we can come and we can do that.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. That is something very great you both have told. Sir, I would like to know from both of you, what do you feel is the future of the profession? Because with the India being called as pharmacy of the world, where are we heading, both in terms of academy, industry, clinicals? Are we still growing further, or you
brief more on industry point of view?
Sure. So actually, to extend from what Dr. Narayana has mentioned, the recognition given to the healthcare professionals and all, he was talking about the pharmacists. Mainly, he was talking more about the hospital pharmacists. But you should also extend it to the industry pharmacists, because today all the pharma industry are working in spite of all the difficulties and all. We have ensured that there is no
including industry pharmacists also, sir.
Yeah. No, there is no a sort of a shortage of medicines. You would have seen that all the pharmacies are open. There is no complaint of shortage of medicine, because the pharmaceutical industry worked in spite of all the handicaps. Initially, when the COVID started, there was no proper transportation available, no permission was given. But with all that, we started the permission, and then all the workers are also under risk of COVID. But they all came. We took all the safeguards, And we have ensured that there's an uninterrupted supply of medicines, not only to India, to all over the world. So I think the government also should recognize the pharmaceutical industry as a part of the healthcare. Of course, they are started giving a lot of importance now. And, now apart from the hydroxychloroquine and the paracetamol, the one good thing that has happened, there's a tremendous confidence in the world about the drugs of the pharmaceutical from India. I can tell you that we have got more orders now. Even my company has got enough orders to go for the next 6 months. So the things, I'm surprised that increased number of orders are now pouring in to the pharmaceutical industry. So I can say that future is very bright for the pharmaceutical industry. And another thing is that today, many of the industries are forecasting a negative growth, a decline. But pharmaceutical industry is progressing, and we are aspiring to grow at double digits now. The sense, Indian pharma exports, all the entire exports of India declined in the month of April, but Indian pharma exports at least grew by 0.5% to start with. But now the factories are all open, 2 shifts, 3 shifts, they are working and all. I'm sure now the Pharmaxil and all, they are aspiring to go for a 10% growth, which is what they had done last time also. But I think as time progresses, the confidence in India as a pharmacy of the world and the provider of pharmaceuticals of the world is increasing. And I can say that for the future, for the industry, pharmaceutical industry is very bright. And of course, this will definitely have reflection on all other facets of pharmacy. Clinical pharmacy also will get off because, apart from manufacturing, the extension is research and clinical practices are going to also go up. I think future is bright.
Advice for teachers and professionals who want to become entrepreneurs. What is happening? Skills. We want these skills to turn into productivity. These skills to turn into learning. Because teachers always say we have teaching and learning only. We are not getting other alternate source to earn. Can you be the platform for them?
Yeah.
Sir, Veeramani sir, you'd like to add on?
Yeah, certainly. Definitely one should, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you must develop an entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneur mindset is one thing which looks into the opportunities available. At the same time, have a plan or a project to work for. Apart from this, they must also learn about finance management. So many of the people who will start enterprise, they are not adequate in finance management. So they must know more about finance management and all. They must also have a team to work with them. Or at least when they start an enterprise, they must have a team to work and all. They must be able to carry the team along with them. All these things are required. Apart from that, they must be ready to fight challenges. Because initially, when you start an enterprise, there will be a problem. You can't foresee. Not that every time there will be a problem, but you can foresee that there can be hurdles. So you must have the persistence. We say persist until you succeed. So the persistence and perseverance is also a part of entrepreneurship. So if you are able to build this, I think you can do. If success is not all difficult, if you plan well and you execute with determination.
Thank you, both of you. Now, okay, very important for us all to know, you have more passion for work or more passion to travel?
Same with me, more passion to work.
I think it's both for you people, what we have observed.
Yeah.
Because
travel automatically comes for the work.
Narayan sir, traveling so much for work.
Travel is incidental.
Yes.
Sir, favorite attire as Veeramani?
Yeah, I'm already wearing the Modi jacket. Yeah. That is my favorite attire.
Narayan sir?
Casuals, blue.
Yeah, blue is also my color, favorite color.
Sir, message for the youngsters.
You should dream big. And, you must pursue the goals of your dearest dreams in your life. Act with honesty and forthrightness. Honesty gives you a tremendous amount of inner strength to move on. And strive for excellence. Strive for excellence in anything, in everything you do. You must be the best. You strive for it. And if you plan well, success is not at all difficult.
Correct.
So I endorse what Narayana sir has said. Particularly, nowadays, many of the youngsters are finding it difficult to face challenges.
Yeah.
And they lose their heart, they lose their mind and all that. You must know that challenge is, these are all part of life. Every time the up and downs will be there. But we must strive well. So when I say also that when you have to strive to be the best, it is only striving. So, but whether I succeed or fail, my quest for doing the best has to continue all the time. But one day or other, you will emerge as a winner. So the youngsters have to learn to definitely face challenges and accept defeat and then move on.
Fully said, sir. It was a session which I should say can be easily termed as Dil Se, because you hard. And this COVID is and Corona C, so scare is also with C, and also connect is with C. So this COVID has connected us all more strongly, and we are going to show this one. Yes, you stand nowhere in front of we pharmacists and we Indians, and you are going to go away from here unsuccessful. So on behalf of APTI, IPA, IDMA, I thank Dr. T.V. Narayana and Shri S.V. Veeramaniji for their time, their involvement, and really speaking worthy so that the youngsters, the teachers, the professionals have learned. It's really a teaching learning session today, and we are enlightened. We are truly enlightened. There is no exaggeration in my words, with your vision and with your thoughts about the profession, about everything. You're so positive. You're so positive. You have really connected us well. Thank you, both of you. Thank you, participants, for being part of this. It is being telecasted live on YouTube, and it is being recorded, which we will share with you, and really appreciate. And we appreciate this also, because before the session began, we saw Mrs. Veeramani. And
yeah. She's always there. For me, for all of us.
So my heartfelt on behalf of all teachers and professionals.
Yeah.
Thank you,
so
sir.
thank you, Dr. Raman Dang and all the APTI for organizing such a wonderful session, particularly with Dr. T.V. Narayan.